Hello, a big thanks for coming here, joining me today. For those who missed my previous video, my name is Martin. I'm the creator of The Principles, and I have something really exciting I want to share with you today, and I'm sure you're going to find it interesting because it's something that helped change my life. So in this video, I'll be telling you about my up and coming group webinar called Staying Positive. And in this video, I want to start off by giving you a bit of background about me and how I came to create the principles and what's going in to the group webinar. Okay, so like you, I've gone through some tough times and life has been really hard. In fact, I would say it's quite extraordinary that I'm actually here today, given where I was at. So something obviously has transformed, and this is really what my message is to you, is that you don't have to be the way that you are. Now, I used to think I did, and now I've come through, I believe you can do the same. So what was a typical day like it for me? Well, I don't know if you can relate to this, but each day was a huge dread. I just didn't like getting out of bed, if I could, that was. Because I was have to face the same dread feeling, that feeling of heaviness, that feeling of worry, that feeling of things are going to go wrong, that feeling of what's the point of living, why would I want to get out of bed. Things were really tough at that time. I had no father to go to, as it were. I had no mother to provide love, as it were. So basically I was living, as I used to say, in my mind to try and keep myself to myself, because I didn't like me. I hated me. Why would anyone want to be with me? That's how I used to see myself. And even if the smallest thing went wrong, I used to go nuts. I used to go bananas, because I knew what was coming was punishment. I knew what was coming was me hating myself more. I don't know about you, but my mind was in overdrive. It never stopped. I didn't know how to stop it. And it was on the most stupid things. It wasn't about something exciting happening that day or what have you. It was merely, how am I going to avoid pain? How am I going to avoid upsetting someone? So I used to plan out the whole day. What would I say here? What will I do there? What will they think of me? Would I be okay? Would I be comfortable in that person's company? Will I be able to show up on time to this interview? Will I be late? Will my school exams go okay? So it was a constant whirring in my head. Like every little detail, I had to make sure I was safe. And as you can imagine, I hardly had any space in my mind for anything else. By the end of the day, I was wiped out, exhausted mentally and physically. Holding that anticipation of what was coming was killing me. And then, of course, there was a rerun of all the things that had happened. How my father had beat me, how my father had told me, you are a waste of space, how each day I tried to avoid him. his voice, in fact, stayed there for most of my life. Him telling me off, for one. I kept hearing the same words over and over. You're a waste of space. You're useless. He used to threaten, this was when I was about 14, to kick me out of the house unless I pulled myself together and got things done. So that fear grew and grew until at the end of the day I had chest pains. I was quite worried about those, but I eventually found out that of course it was palpitations. And this is my day. This is my life. Avoiding pain. Suppressing how I felt. Because believe me, on the surface, I was in control. Or I thought I was. But beneath, there was a volcano that was brewing. And the hatred that I gained from my father, I hated in itself because he was my father. And I felt so guilty for having that. So my daily life was a huge range of emotions. Feeling guilty, feeling anxious, feeling angry. I didn't know what happiness was. I didn't know what peace was. How on earth, as I said to you, I got out of bed, I don't know. How on earth I got here, I don't know. I never thought I'd be sharing this with you. But something in me did. Something in me kept me going. And that's why I want to reach out to you and say that you can do it. And I believe this group seminar, this group workshop that we're going to do, will help you. I fundamentally believe that, like it did me. So I got to a point which I call a breaking point. Enough was enough. I couldn't take it anymore. And I had to do something. I either left this world, call it a day, whatever way you want to put it, or I had to find a way of turning my life around. It was unbearable, actually, really unbearable. I kept looking at friends, I kept seeing other people who were happy and confident. I had no concept of what that was. Was there something inherently wrong with me? Was I suffering from a mental disease or something? Because I lived on a black cloud. That's it. And that cloud never shifted sometimes. It would stay week in and week out. What was I going to do? I went to the GP. I started to try and get some help, but basically they just said, well, you had a tough upbringing and that's the way that you are, Martin. And then they started using terms like, well, anxiety, depression, and so on and so forth. And yeah, there's the ways you can help. We can put you on medication and so on and so forth. And I wasn't having it because I really wanted to know why. Why was I feeling like this? And if I could understand how I thought, then maybe I had a chance. So that was really my quest. I wanted to understand me and my thoughts. And this fundamentally is what I'll be sharing in the webinar, staying positive. Because as you can imagine, the very fact of trying to be positive until I learned this stuff was impossible. It was unreal, unexperienced. And that's what I'm saying. What I learned can help you begin to unravel these thoughts, these constant negative thoughts. It's almost like turning the dial down I don't know if you understand what that means, but for me it means that the dial was up, the noise was at full load, my mind was crammed with rubbish and I couldn't turn it off. And that's what I'm saying this seminar, this workshop is about. It's about turning the dial down, so at least you have some peace of mind, so at least you can stop this chatter. So I'm providing you with the tools to do this. You'll learn about the root of anxiety and depression. You'll discover things that motivate us, that rule our lives. And these things that you can change, these things that motivate us, you will be able to change. So it doesn't have to be how you are now. I'll be sharing with you the elements of what I would see as behavior. Why do you behave in a certain way? Is it just automatic, or do you have a choice? As I've learned, we have a choice. How to deal with difficult situations. I don't know about you, but I was just reactive, so reactive to situations. It was almost as if I was on automatic pilot, and I didn't really feel that I had any control. Well, you can. So we're going to have a look at what would you do in a situation when you felt threatened? What do you do when you feel judged? Because these sort of things will help you realize that actually you can make a difference. But until you know them, you'll be running on autopilot. I'll be teaching you exactly what to say in certain situations. I'll be teaching you techniques to switch that reactive, judgmental mind off. The mind that says you're useless. The mind that says you can't do this. So really what I'm saying is, it's the power of the mind that's going to change things for you. And what I want to share with you is how to tap into that. A couple of huge things I learned was, firstly, almost everything I thought about myself, almost everything I thought about life, didn't come from me. How crazy is that? I learned them from others. How I used to think about myself wasn't my own thoughts. I learned that from others. That's nuts. And I believed it. And that screwed my life up. Another thing I learned was that by keeping on having negative thoughts, what sort of life was I going to have? Negative. So I'll be showing you how to stop these thoughts in their tracks. I'll also show you how you can begin to change the way you see yourself. How much of you do you hate yourself? A bit? Some? How much of you do you want to change yourself? A bit? A lot? Well, why? Well, of course, we carry this idea that we're useless. We carry this idea that I'm bad. But actually, you learned that, like I did, when you were young. And all the while you allow those voices to stay in your head, you're going to carry on believing it. And you don't have to. As crazy as that may sound, you just don't have to. So I'm reaching out and saying, come and join me in this webinar. You will not be in any way disappointed. And in fact, I would say, if you are, and you don't get out what you want, then I'll refund every penny, because I don't want you to do anything that is not of any value. I want you to have something that's going to help you start to change your life, because I was there, and you can see that I'm passionate about this because I've helped many people along the way too. I feel really privileged. So that's why I'm saying I believe in this. I believe in what I'm doing here. So, what's your next step? Okay, by all means get in touch if you want to learn more. And those details will be after the video, so you can see those. I'm keeping the numbers small. And that's because I want to work with people and give everyone an opportunity to learn the ideas, share the ideas. So that's why I'm having to keep the numbers small, so don't leave it too long. If you want to join, I suggest that you check out the link below and join up. All the instructions will be there for you. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Stay blessed, and I will see you very soon, I hope. See you soon.